this uplift. You shift the whole party and straight lift. You jump up to the sound of the bump of the beat. This is for the street. Come on, what we came to do is uplift. You shift the whole party and straight lift. You jump up to the sound of the bump of the beat. This is for the street. Come on, what we came to do is uplift.
Alright guys, this is something I've needed to do for a good minute, but it's actually starting to get to the point where it's extremely annoying. My belt tensioner is squeaking. It's squeaking pretty good with the AC on, and the tensioner spazzes out. Something I needed to do for a while, but it hasn't been too terribly bad. But now, pretty much on a constant basis, after have it cranked for a minute with the AC on, it squeaks, and it squeaks pretty good. And I hate squeaking belts. I hate squeaking belts with a passion. I can't stand a squeaking belt. Even I see people driving down the street with a squealing belt, and I just can't believe they can drive like that. If I drive something like that, I'm embarrassed. My green Jeep does it ever so often with the AC on when it's charged. It's kind of low right now, so it probably won't even come on. But I'm pretty sure that's the actual compressor clutch. We replaced the AC compressor on it 10 years ago when I got the thing. And the Jeep was 8 years old at that point when I got it. So that compressor is probably shot, so it probably needs another compressor. But yeah, I'm going to start it up and see if it actually makes that noise. And I'll show you the compressor. Or show you the tensioner. Well, that's the squeaking. Can't really see the tensioner moving, but it's spazzing out pretty good. And it gets worse and louder the longer it runs. So, yeah. And these are the parts I got to fix it. Went ahead and got a belt, because I don't know how old that belt is that's on it. And the truck's got 88,330 something thousand on it. So I went ahead and got a belt, and went ahead and got a tensioner. Both from work, so, yeah, they weren't that expensive, but then again, that's my price. So, yeah, now I just got to, go ahead and, put it on, and looks like I have to remove this intake piece, which honestly I think is dumb that they go from here all the way over there back into a plenum and then go in right there, when they literally could have just went up, back, and over. Take that off, take these clips out. And then there's a clip, or one of the clamps right there. Honestly, probably easier to take this off first, just this piece, and then take this piece off after the fact. And then maybe we can get the upper shroud off. Oh yeah, we can get that upper shroud off, no problem. Then pull the upper shroud off, and you can have all the access you need. Alright, that was needlessly complicated. You would think, okay, pop out the pin here, pop out the pin here. I'm guessing there used to be a pin here that came in through the bottom. Mine just had a flat top on it, so I'm guessing there was a stud here at one point. And then, yeah, pull it out. Yeah, no. This is a stupid intake muffler. And it sits down in here. I'm not even going to try to put it back down in there right now. This is stuff down in here. You can't just pull it up. This is the pain in the butt to get to. And that's right here. So you can't just pull it out. I might have another block off plate like I used on the Yukon. That might fit, but that might be bigger. I might take the one off the Yukon temporarily. I don't know. But anyway, now that that's off, there's a bolt there, a bolt there, bolt here, bolt here, bolt here, bolt there, bolt there. Theoretically, this fan shroud, if you have enough movement in these AC lines, yeah, should just lift right up. You can get to the belt. That's what I'm going to do. Alright. Went ahead and took the belt off. My wrench is stuck, surprisingly. It won't, it won't move. Or excuse me, it won't detension all the way so I can pull the wrench off. But I went ahead and took that this piece off. Just because I wanted to see the valve cover, see if I could, you know, see if that's one of the leaks, which it pretty much looks like it. I mean, it's all covered in stuff. And there's some oil leak that's coming down the side of the block, so I'm pretty sure it's from the valve cover. That's a common problem. Valve cover, oil pan, and rear main are common problems on this thing, and I think I have all three of them leaking. It also lets me see where the spark plugs are, see how hard it is going to be to change spark plugs, which, to be honest, the way it's designed, they go straight up like this. So that doesn't look too bad. So yeah, the belt's off. I just looked at the valve cover. I need to clean the throttle body out. The throttle body is pretty nasty. But other than that, yeah, I think that's a 15mm bolt. I'm going to go ahead and get the 15mm bolt off the tensioner, which is right there. You use a 3/8 socket to put on there, 3/8 wrench, put it on there, ratchet it back, and pull the belt off. I still, even with that all the way open, I pulled it off of this, and that was pretty difficult. I guess pull it off of one of those smoother pulleys. It's usually always better to pull it off a smooth pulley, or pull it off the tensioner itself, because I don't know much about this motor. But anyway, let me get the tensioner off. And there it is off. And here's the belt off, which is GM belt, the original GM belt. Is that the same part number as the one I got? 6PK180K. So yeah, that's the same length. Is it the same part number? I'm just wondering if they changed part numbers over the years. They did change part numbers over the years. Part numbers are slightly different. But the 6RIB1888 is the same. 1,888mm 6RIB. So, over the years, GM's changed part number. Made in Mexico. Which I'm pretty sure the new build's also made in Mexico. I don't know if this is original belt or not, but it is. It's not bad, but it's starting to dry rot. It's starting to barely crack. I don't know if there's any huge splits in it. This belt doesn't really have any really sharp. Well, it does around the alternator, but it doesn't have any sharp backwards bends. Really, they're all smooth pulleys. There's a decent sized one right there. So, yep, this belt's need to be replaced. And here's the tensioner. That's not good. Yep. Those bearings are dry. Funny thing is, this is a Daco, or excuse me, this is the GM tensioner. I think that part number is the same. But this is a Daco pulley. So at one point in time, they've replaced the pulley, but they haven't replaced the tensioner. But yeah, it should stay fairly tensioned. Yeah, it might shake a little bit back and forth, but I mean, this thing was constantly spazzing out. Yeah, smooth transitions, yes, but not spazzing out like this was. So, part numbers of these are the same still. Casting's still the same. I bet that stamped number is different. That must be like a serial number or something like that. But yeah. Let's get these back on. I tell you what though, there is plenty of room to put electric fans in this thing. There is room for days for electric fans, which is what I'm going to do. Get rid of this stupid clutch fan that robs what little what little of the motor makes at 80 horsepower, plus the AC compressor. When you get the AC compressor going, plus the clutch on the fan going, oh boy, this thing's, yeah, it's not peppy to say the least. But anyway, let me go ahead and get that back on. And just make sure you line up the holes. There is this pin right here. You got to line that up with a hole down there. There's actually 2 locations. But you line it up. You're going to line it up with that bottom peg. That peg right there. That peg might be for I don't know. I don't know the configuration of this motor in the Cavalier, but alright, getting the belt off was a little bit tricky, but holy crap, getting that thing on is, you have to hold your tongue just right. This fan does not have any spot that's bigger than the other, like some fans. I know the fans on the Jeeps, there's like 2 clusters and then another 2 clusters, and then it's got a bigger area where you can stick your hand through or stick bolts through, something. Not this one. Holy crap. And that tensioner, oh man, that tensioner is, you know, I'm used to the tensioner on the Yukon. That thing is another level. Either that or it's because the ratchet I was using this little thing, little cheapy ratchet I got, who knows how many years ago. It would be a lot better with an actual belt tensioner tool that's like yay long, and you can just turn it over, or having a longer wrench, or excuse me, ratchet. But man, and then you have to get everything to fall into place just perfectly. Some of the bends and twists that this thing makes does not bode well to a new belt, especially a belt that's actually twisted. One way's flat, and the other way's the opposite. So I had to kind of work with it. What I found out was it was easy for me. Put it right here on the fan, and then get everything you need to with it on the tensioner, and then push the tensioner back, you know, as far as you can, and then slip the fan pulley back on last. That's the way I found was easiest. Now, well, I would start it up. I don't want that temperature sensor to throw a code, so I'm going to plug that temperature sensor up. This doesn't have a mass airflow sensor. It uses I'm guessing it uses a manifold sensor. You know, no mass airflow sensor. So, yeah, let me do that. Let me just plug the sensor up, and I'll start it. I don't want any of this to get caught in it. So, yeah, I'll be back. Alright, let's crank it. Shouldn't do anything with that PCV uncranked. all seems good. That all seems good. I can actually hear a little bit of tapping through the front, in the front. I don't know if that's the compressor, if that's the movement of the tensioner, or if I'm starting to get a very slight tapping from my timing chain, because timing chain and head gaskets are two of the big things with these motors, and getting close to 100,000 is usually when the timing chains start letting go or getting really bad. So that's something I got to keep an eye out for. Head gaskets, that's, if it happens, it happens. Pretty much it. You just got to put it back together. Oh, I'm not looking forward to that. I'm probably not going to put this back on. I'm probably going to. I don't have another plug. Well, I do, but I don't know where it is. I bought two when I did the Yukon, and I don't know where I put the other one. So I'm probably going to probably get some plastic, get some tape, and put that thing back over it, and just seal it up for now. It's just going to be one day. I'm going to go to work tomorrow, and on the way back from work, I'm going to go to Lowe's and get some of those get multiple PVC plugs. I might have to go to Home Depot, though. I don't remember where I got them. Last time I went to Lowe's, I don't think I saw the end caps. Oh well, it's only going to be for one day. It's not going to hurt anything. So let me get this back together, but this is the end. Just put it back together in the reverse of taking it apart. Well, I'm not done yet. Here it is, all done. But it goes together a whole lot easier than it does taking it apart. Especially if you still have that stupid muffler. That's all it is an air muffler to keep noise down. Same thing this is just a glorified air muffler. The stupid Vortex box that was on top of the Yukon is just a glorified air muffler. I blocked the port on that one with a 2-inch PVC cap. This one, as of right now, I have a couple of layers of duct tape on it, a Ziploc bag that I cut one side off, slipped it over it, and then I put the ring back on and tightened it up. Nothing's leaking out of that. But tomorrow I'm going to pick up a couple of different sizes of PVC caps and put a PVC cap on it. One thing I have to do is tighten this back down. There you go. These just have push pin here and a push pin here. They go through a rubber mount into the radiator shroud. Yeah, everything's done. Guess I'll crank it, see if it's any louder. And it's not going to be. My Yukon barely made any more noise. People are like, oh, it makes so much more noise. No, it doesn't. It does make throttle a little bit more snappy on my Yukon. Don't worry about the check engine light. That's a evap issue. Maybe I should have put a couple of layers of tape on it. Oh no, that's no problem. But yeah, there it is. Now, I do have some noise coming through the intake that I've just started hearing. I don't know if I have an intake gasket leak or what, but I hear rushing air around the intake area. So I might be taking the intake off at some point to do a freaking intake gasket. But I mean, it could just be air rushing inside the plastic intake. I don't know. I've just never really noticed it. It only happens at idle, and actually it could actually be Freon, because I think I only hear it with the AC on, or hear it loud anyway. No, never mind. That's intake. It does change volume with the AC on though. But, oh yeah, that's good, no problem. Like I said, I got a couple layers of duct tape on there, and then I got a plastic bag over it, so just for a day, it's not going to do anything. But, yay, no more squeaky belt. So yeah, talk to you later.